Assalamualaikum. Today, my team and I will be presenting about the digestive system, which play a crucial role in breaking down food and absorbing nutrients to keep our bodies healthy. Our presentation will cover how the digestive system works step by step, starting from the mouth and teeth, where food is first chewed, all the way to the rectum and anus, where waste is eliminated. We will also discuss important organs like the liver, gallbladder and pancreas, which support digestion in different ways. By the end of this presentation, you will have a clear understanding of how our body processes food and why the digestive system is essential for our health. So, let's get started by exploring the meaning of digestive system and how the digestive system works. What is digestive system? The digestive system is the group of organs in the body that work together to break down food, absorb nutrients and remove waste. It includes the mouth, stomach, intestine and accessory organs like the liver and pancreas. This system ensures that our body gets the energy and nutrients it needs to function properly.
Now, we move to the major structure of the oral cavity that is also known as mouth. The major structure are lips, hard and soft palates, salivary glands, tongue, teeth, and periodontium. Hard palate is the anterior portions of the palates and covered with specialized mucous membrane. Soft palate is the flexible posterior portions of the palates that plays an important role of the closing of the nasal passages to prevent food and liquid moving upward during the swallowing. The tongue is the structure for chewing, speaking, and swallowing. The upper and lower jaws contain natural teeth, which are incisor and canines used for biting and tearing, premolars, also known as biscupate, and molars used for chewing and grinding. Next is salivary glands. Colorless liquid saliva keeps the mouth moist and help maintains the health of the teeth. There are three pairs of salivary glands include parotid glands, sublingual glands, and submandibular glands are responsible for producing saliva. Next is pairing. Pairing is the common passageway for both respirations and digestions. The pairing plays an important role in deglutition, which is commonly known as swallowing. The epiglottis is a lid-like structure that closes off the entrance to the trachea to prevent food and liquids from moving from the pharynx during swallowing. Esophagus. Esophagus is the muscular tube through which ingested food passes from the pharynx to the stomach. The lower esophagus sphincter is a muscular ring between the esophagus and stomach, and it relaxes to allow food to enter the stomach during swallowing. The sphincter opens to allow the flow of food into the stomach and closes to prevent the stomach's contents from regurgitating into the esophagus. So, for the clearer view about the first digestive system, the food that we inside in our mouth every day will turn into the moist lump pieces that are called as bolus, with the help of teeth and saliva, and prepare it to be swallowed. After that, the food will go down, which must plunge to reach the stomach. During swallowing, food travels from the mouth into the pharynx and on into the esophagus. After that, in the esophagus, food moves downward through the actions of gravity and peristalsis. Peristalsis is a muscular contraction that moves the food forward into the digestive system.
My name is SHUHADA and today I'm excited to talk about an important organ in our digestive system, which is the stomach. Have you ever wondered how your body breaks down after you eat? The stomach plays a major role in digestion, helping us process food and absorb nutrients. Throughout this presentation, I will explain the stomach structures, function, and the amazing process that happens inside it every time we eat. Let's get started. The stomach is like a blender for our food. It is a muscular G-shaped organ located in the upper left side of the abdomen, just below our ribcage. It connects to the esophagus at the top and the small intestine at the bottom. One of its most important jobs is to store food temporarily, allowing us to eat large meals without having to digest everything at once. But more importantly, the stomach uses powerful gastric juice, enzymes, and acid to break down food into a form that our body can absorb. Now, let's take a closer look at the part of the stomach. At the top, we have the fundus, which temporarily stores undigested food and gas. The largest part is the body, where most digestion happens. The antrum is the lower part where food is mixed and pushed towards the small intestine. Inside the stomach, there are folds called rugae, which allow it to stretch when we eat and contract when it's empty. At the very bottom of the stomach, we have two important structures, which is the pyloric sphincters, which acts like a gate controlling how much food passes into the small intestine, and the second is the pylorus, which is the passage connecting the stomach to the small intestine. These structures work together to make sure digestion happens smoothly and at the right pace. The stomach has three main functions in digestion, which is mechanical digestion. Mechanical digestion is when the stomach muscle churn and mix food, just like a blender breaking food into smaller pieces. Second is chemical digestion, which is when the stomach produces gastric juice that contain hydrochloric acid, HCl, and enzyme like pepsin, which help break down protein into smaller molecules. Third is storage and regulation, which is the stomach holds food and slowly releases it into the small intestine through the pyloric sphincter, ensuring that the digestion happens gradually. Together, this process turns solid food into a semi-liquid mixture called chyme, which is then passed to the small intestine for further digestion. Before I explain to the next part, let's see this video first. What happens inside the stomach when we eat? Let's go through the process step by step. When we swallow food, it travels down the esophagus and enters the stomach. The stomach muscles contract and chew the food, breaking it into smaller pieces. At the same time, the stomach releases hydrochloric acid, HCl, and enzymes like pepsin, which help break down proteins. After a few hours, the food turns into a thick liquid called chyme. The pyloric sphincter then opens and closes, allowing chyme to pass into the small intestine little by little. This process ensures the food is properly digested before moving to the next stage. To sum up, the stomach is one of the most important organs in the digestive system. It stores food, breaks it down with acid and enzyme, and controls how food moves into the small intestine. Without the stomach's ability to mix and digest food properly, our bodies will not be able to absorb nutrients efficiently. I hope you now have better understanding of how the stomach works and why it is so important. Now, I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Next is liver. The liver removes excess glucose, which is commonly known as blood sugar, from the bloodstream and store it as a glycogen. Glycogen is a form of glucose that is stored in the liver and muscles. When the blood sugar level is low, the liver converts glycogens back into glucose and releases it for use by the body. For the formation of bile, which aids in the digestion of fats, is a digestive juice secreted by the liver that is necessary for the digestion of fat. Bile will travel from the liver to the gallbladder, where it is concentrated and stored. For the bilirubin is a pigment formed in the liver by the breakdown of hemoglobin and excreted in bile, giving it a yellow to green color. Excessive amounts of bilirubin in the body can lead to jaundice and other diseases. Next, we go to the gallbladder. When we eat fatty foods, the gallbladder releases bile into the small intestine to aid in the digestion and absorption of fats. This process is not only aid digestion but also ensure that nutrients are effectively utilized by the body. The gallbladder plays a key role in fat digestion but is non-essential for life. The liver will continue to produce bile even if the gallbladder is removed. Next is pancreas. The pancreas produces and secretes pancreatic juice that aid in digestion. This juice contains digestive enzymes like amylase, lipase, and protease, which break down carbohydrates, fats, and protein respectively. The pancreatic juice also contains sodium bicarbonate, which helps neutralize stomach acids in the small intestines, creating an optimal environment for the enzyme to function. This juice leaves the pancreas through the pancreatic duct, which join the common bile duct just before entering the duodenum.
Alright, let's talk about the small intestine, the 20-foot long quiet organ that plays important role in digesting food and absorbing nutrients. It extends from the pyloric sphincter of the stomach to the large intestine, and it composed of 3 sections, which are duodenums, jejunums, and ileums. So let's start with the first one, the duodenum. The duodenum is where digestion kicks into the high gear. This is where the chymes from the stomach meets pancreatic juice and bile. Bile breaks down the fat globules into the smaller ones, and a process called emulsification. So enzymes can do their jobs. It's like prepping ingredients before cooking, make everything easier to process. Now on to the jejunum, the middle section of the small intestine. This is the factory of the small intestine, and it secretes tons of digestive enzyme to continue breaking down food. Protein, fats, and carbohydrates are all transformed into simpler molecules here and ready to be absorbed. Last but not least, we have the ileums, the longer section of small intestine. It connects to the large intestine at the cecum, and its primary job is absorption. This is where nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and amino acids are absorbed into the bloodstreams and sent to fuel our body. Think of the ileums as the delivery service of our digestive system. So, to sum it up, the duodenums mix, the jejunum digests, and the ileums absorbs. 3 sections working together to convert food into the energy and nutrients our body can use. The small intestine may not be small in size, but it is the absolute giant when it comes to its role in digestion.
Next, I will present about the role of the large intestine. The role of the entire large intestine is to receive the waste products of digestion and store them until they are eliminated from the body. Food waste enters the large intestine, where excess water is reabsorbed into the body through the walls of the large intestine, they helping maintain the body's fluid balance. The remaining waste forms into phases. The large intestine is home to billions of bacteria, collectively called gut microflora of gut microbiota. These bacteria play a crucial role in breaking down waste and producing gas. They also protect against infections and support the immune system. Next, the cecum is the first part of the large intestine and plays a role in the digestive process, although its function is relatively limited compared to other parts of the digestive system. Its primary functions are absorbing salts and fluids and lubricates waste. It also stores undigested foods and mixes it with the mucus. So, the colon is the longest part of the large intestine. It receives almost completely digested food from the cecum, absorbs water and nutrients, and passes water to the rectum. The colon is divided into 4 parts. So first of all, ascending colon is the start of the colon. It is on the right side of the abdomen. It absorbs water and nutrients from undigested food and pushes it toward the liver. transverse colon follows the ascending colon and hepatic flexure. It lies across the upper part of the abdomen. The function of this colon is to move food through the colon across the abdominal wall. Descending colon follows the transverse colon and splenic flexure. It is on the left side of the abdomen. The function of this colon is to store feces. So lastly, sigmoid colon is the last part of the colon. It contracts to move stool into the rectum. The rectum is the lower part of the large intestine that connects to the sigmoid colon. It receives waste from the colon and stores it until it passes out of the body through the anus. And lastly, anus is the final part of the large intestine and controls the release of stool from the body. It's made up of muscles, nerves, and mucous membranes that work together to allow for healthy bowel movements.